Hello, welcome to our weekly witnessing tip. I'm Gina.
And I'm Mark. Hey, Gina, I know that you play soccer, right?
I did.
Oh, you
yes,
did?
Yes.
Okay. Well, when you play a sport, a lot of times they say the mental game is pretty important. Did you find that out when you were playing soccer?
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I think any athlete could attest to that. There's the difference between rolling off the bus, having taken a nap and being all groggy, or spending the game focusing on all the things you don't want to do to mess up. That kind of leads to disaster in the game. Yeah.
Yeah, and we see it so often in sports where a better team loses because they're hesitant on the game.
Yeah.
Well, the same thing with witnessing. Mental preparation, a lot of people don't realize, but mental preparation is just so important. Mm-hmm. We've talked about this many times, but today I want to take a little bit different aspect on it and talking about the difference between sharing and defending the truth. Now, they are both important,
right?
But there's a distinction between the two. So let me ask you a couple questions. When you are defending the truth of God's Word, what really is your focus? What are you focusing on?
Well, that's a good question. I'd say my focus is on the Word. What does God's Word say?
Okay, and you just really want to keep it pure and defend it.
Sharing it correctly.
Right. And then if you're sharing God's Word, what really are you focusing in on more?
Yeah, I'd say I'm probably focusing on the person and what the situation is and what their need is.
Right.
Focusing on them.
Right, on them. And again, when you go into a situation, that mental difference can make a big difference in your witnessing. If your goal there is to defend the truth, you might not even be noticing all the subtle clues of the of the people or anything because you're so focused on getting the truth out. But when you're sharing God's Word and you're focusing on the people, then what you really are focusing on that person, you're much more attuned to that. And also a little bit different way of presenting the truth. And in the Bible, both are mentioned. We see Jesus and the apostles, sharing the truth and defending the truth. But what's really interesting is that it depends on the audience usually. Mm-hmm. When they are defending the truth, there's usually two different audiences that they are talking to. The first audience are people who are already believers, who are in danger of maybe being sucked into error, and so they're warning them, and they say, no, this is what the truth is. The other situation is usually when they're talking to false teachers. And when they're talking to false teachers, they're going to be defending the truth against what those false teachers are saying. Mm-hmm. But what is really, really important to see is that when they're talking to the followers of the false teachers, the people who have been sucked in, many times they are not really defending the Word. It's there where they are sharing the Word, because finally anybody who does not know Christ believes falsely, and so they're more intent on sharing the Word and trusting in the power of God's Word to bring them into the light and to see the truth. And so if we go into a situation where we are focused on God's Word, and I'm going to keep it pure and all that, more than likely we probably won't connect with that person. Mm-hmm. And more than likely they might just want to get out of the conversation kind of quick. But when we are sharing God's Word, then they realize, they can sense that we're more concerned about them and that we are just trying to proclaim to them God's truth rather than defend the truth. And that's a distinction.
That's a really important distinction. I can think of a few times even when I've maybe erred on the side of defending the truth and the conversation has shut down quickly. And so, that's a great practical tip.
And it's easy to say defend the truth because we want to defend our Savior, we want to defend the truth, but again, we have to realize that the truth can stand on its own, and a lot of times it's the truth that will convince people themselves, convince people by itself of its truthfulness. And so, when you go into a situation, really have that in mind. Am I here to share the truth, or am I here to defend the truth?
That's a great question. Yeah. Good. Thank you. Yeah, this is a great follow-up to last week's vlog from John on planting with patience and trusting in the power of God's Word. So I'll put a link to that in the comments. Keep an eye out on our social media platforms for encouraging posts on just sharing the truth in love. and thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Have a great week.
Bye.